Michael was on a safari in Tanzania, and as he was driving through the Serengeti National Park, he noticed a lone elephant standing in the middle of the road, completely still. At first, Michael thought the elephant was just crossing the road and would move on in a moment. But as he got closer, he saw that the elephant was not moving at all. It seemed to be just standing there, as if it was waiting for something. Michael knew that elephants were intelligent and social animals, and he wondered if this one was lost or separated from its herd. He also knew that elephants were sometimes known to wait at familiar landmarks in the hope that their herd would pass by, and they could be reunited. But something about this elephant seemed different. It did not seem distressed or panicked, like an animal that was lost or separated from its herd might be. It just seemed still. Michael's safari group had stopped a safe distance away from the elephant, and they watched it for a while, trying to understand what it was doing. After a few minutes, Michael decided to take a closer look. He grabbed his binoculars and peered through them, adjusting the focus to get a clearer view. When the image came into focus, Michael's heart sank. Michael's eyes widened as the poor elephant had a large wound on its side, and it was clear that it was in pain. Michael could see that the wound was deep and infected, and it was clear that the elephant was struggling to stand. It was no wonder that it had not moved in all this time, and he knew that he had to do something to help this animal. Michael held back tears, as the elephant suddenly turned to look towards him and his vehicle. It was almost as if the elephant had positioned himself there because he knew someone would soon drive along and see him. Elephants, indeed, were intelligent animals. He turned to the safari guide and explained what he had seen. The guide nodded gravely and called for the rest of the group to gather around. "We have to do something to help this elephant," he said. "It's clear that it's in pain and needs medical attention. We can't just leave it here to suffer." Michael and the rest of the group agreed, and they quickly came up with a plan. They would call the nearest wildlife authority and explain the situation. Hopefully, they would be able to send a veterinarian to treat the elephant and help it recover. The group called the wildlife authority and explained the situation. They were relieved to hear that a veterinarian would be sent out as soon as possible. However, the wildlife authority told Michael and the guide to remain in their vehicle and not get any closer, but Michael couldn't resist getting a little close to the poor elephant. It was clearly in pain and distress, and he wanted to make it feel less alone. Michael started slowly driving towards the elephant, trying his best not to spook it. He got to within 20 meters of the beautiful creature and turned off his car for a long moment. He studied the elephant and its painful and weeping abscesses. The elephant waved his trunk at Michael as if to signal to him. Still, the elephant displayed no signs of aggressive behavior. In fact, the elephant sucked its knees and then laid itself down on the road. Michael made a split-second decision. He got out of the car and slowly walked toward the gentle giant. It made a primitive moan as if asking the approaching man for help. Michael was still keenly aware that this was a wild and potentially dangerous animal. Still, he walked within a few feet of the animal to check how terrible the sores were. Then Michael did something truly incredible and touching. He sat down several meters from the elephant's head and started to talk to it. He could see the animal was listening, and even though he couldn't understand what Michael was saying, he clearly felt a connection with him, so Michael just talked and talked. They waited with the elephant, trying to keep it calm and comfortable until the veterinarian arrived. When the veterinarian arrived, she examined the elephant and confirmed that it was suffering from a deep wound and an infection. The veterinarian sedated the animal with some tranquilizer, and then she treated the wound and gave the elephant some medication to help it recover. She also gave the group some instructions on how to care for the elephant until it was fully recovered. The group took turns caring for the elephant, making sure it had enough food and water and keeping an eye on its condition. It was worth it to provide the elephant with some comfort, but would it be okay when he awoke? No one was sure, but what happened next will leave you speechless and astonished. Just 36 minutes after the veterinarians finished treating the injured elephant, it woke up and began to recover. It seemed to be in good spirits and was not in pain anymore. The veterinarians and Michael watched the elephant carefully to make sure it was okay, but they were not sure what to expect. Would the elephant attack them or try to flip their vehicles? They all held their breath as they waited to see what would happen next. But to their surprise, the elephant stood up tall and waved its trunk at Michael as if to say thank you. It was a truly astonishing sight. Let us know in the comments how you find this story. If you love this heartwarming story and want to see more like it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when our next story goes live. See you in the next one.